Hello and welcome back to another game of Wolf Quest. Today I am playing a wolf called Lucas in Lost River. Return to Lost River. You are a wild wolf looking for a place to call home in this new valley across the range. There are strange scents, but none of them are human. So you decide to explore and hunt some elk. If you can survive here, you might then try to find a mate and start a family of your own. So for anyone unaware of this game, you are pretty much living the life of a wolf in Yellowstone, or in this case, Lost River, an abandoned town close by Yellowstone and Sleuth Creek. The main goals of this game are to hunt elk, find a mate, and raise your puppies. There's different difficulties to this game, but it is very fun. You can very easily lose track of time playing it. You will get little pop-ups like this, which tell you what to do. This is the Find a Mate quest. Winter is coming, so it's time to start looking for a mate. Out there, you'll find dispersal wolves like yourself who have left their pack in search of a mate to start a new pack with. If you venture into other packs' territories, you'll meet wolves who will fiercely defend their territory, and some who might be willing to persuade and leave their pack to become your mate. How to find a mate. Howl nearby dispersal wolves will howl back with a white icon for their markings on the compass. Rival wolves may also howl back, and if within 2 kilometers, icons will mark their locations as well. Use emotes during courtship to persuade other wolves. So yeah, this is Lucas. He is a beautiful black wolf. And he has come looking for a mate after being washed away by a flood from Sleuth Creek. There's many new scents that he's smelling, and he's a little unsure of it all. He can see smoke rising in the distance. He does not want to go over there. He doesn't know what the smoke is from. The only smoke he's ever encountered is wildfires. And that is something he does not want to be caught in again. The last time he was caught in a wildfire, his litter of pups unfortunately died. Whether they were separated from him during the escape or not is still unknown. His mate is also missing, so he hopes that maybe she's here. Maybe he'll be able to find her in Lost River. And if not her, maybe he'll be able to find a different female He has been separated from his mate Harley for about a year now, and he's eager to find a new friend. While exploring, he comes across a herd of 3 bull elk, all of which looked strong in the beginning, but this one here caught his attention. When it ran, he became a little curious if it's injured or not. Maybe he can get a decent meal out of this, or get hurt. Either way, he's quite curious about this. Slowly, he tries to sneak up on the elk, not yet realizing that the elk is fully aware he is there. It's been a while since he's eaten, and hunger is beginning to drive him to reckless actions. The elk is injured, but it's not that injured. Knowing when to pick a fight and when to avoid one or give one up is important in the wild. The slightest injury can cause death of a wolf. Circling back, he notices some coyotes, and he does not like them very much. And this is because in the past he has lost one of his pups to a coyote attack. And having really nothing else to do, he decides to chase them down and kill at least one of them. One less competitor for him to deal with later on. And one more point to add to the score. Wolves attack with a series of bites, and this is because they need to conserve their stamina, and they are not strong enough to immediately take down prey. It takes time. It takes the skill to know how to hunt. And Lucas knows this quite well. As you can see, he's chasing down this coyote with a nice, almost jog-like pace. While he gets stamina back, he is also tiring out this coyote. He knows that there's not much strength left in the animal, and he could easily kill it if he wants to. He's just toying with it right now. Until finally he has enough and goes in for the finishing blow. He doesn't feel very sorry for the coyote. He knows that by doing this, there is one less competitor for food and for his future pups. To declare his victory, he gives a strong, deep howl. He also howls to see if there may be any dispersal wolves around that can hear him that might be interested. And he gets a response. He is unfamiliar with this pack, but all the same curious as he runs towards the direction he heard the howls coming from. He takes a sniff around. He smells a moose, but he doesn't want to mess with that. Messing with a moose on his own can be quite dangerous. Quite dangerous indeed when you're alone. So he continues to run. Hearing the howls getting closer, he speeds up. Part of him hopes that maybe it's his mate, his former one. Maybe she didn't perish in the fire. Maybe she was alive and well after all. But deep down, he knows that he will never see her again. Slowing down, he comes across a small herd of mule deer. He could hunt these, but, well, they're not his favorite. Atop of this mountainside, he decides he would let out another howl and try to get a response. Try to track these other wolves he heard. Letting out a higher pitched howl, he hopes that it will attract more attention. And his hopes were almost immediately answered as more howls came from nearby. He quickly began to run over, hoping to come in contact with these wolves, hoping that one of them could help him, or perhaps he could swoon one of them into coming with him. He's suffered a lot this past year since the fire and the flood, and he's tired of being alone. He knows that venturing into a pack's territory can be dangerous, but he's willing to take that. He's willing to take that risk. If there's any chance that he could find someone or something that can help him, he's willing to take the risk of venturing it deeper and deeper into pack territory. He was confused. He thought he heard them nearby, but now he can't seem to pick up any trail of them. No scent at all. Stopping by a large boulder, he gave another howl. response, a close one. He found them. But they do not seem friendly. There is a female, but she is accompanied by a male. To mate, no doubt. Not one to be deterred. He decides if he can kill at least one of them, or because they decided to pick a fight with him. Seeing he will not come out of this unscathed, that he was hurt already, he decided to make a run for it. He heard more howls in the distance and hoped by going towards them, maybe he could find someone to help him, or maybe there were another pack, the same pack that he just ran into. Either way, he knew he had to run. This male did not seem to want to let up. Lucas found himself running for his life without a sense of direction. He did not know which way to run. He just was running, hoping he could lose these wolves, who turned out to be so hostile towards him. It was a bad idea to come into pack territory. He knew that now, and he would not make the same mistake twice. He was not a fool when it came to fights. He knew when to run and when to fight. And though he tries his best to avoid fights and is trying his best to run, he is not sure running will be the best option. He knows if he cannot make it away from these wolves, then he will need to turn around and fight. He hopes that it does not come to that. Finally, being able to slow his pace, he stopped to catch his breath. Letting out a low growl in frustration, he turned and moved along. He knew going back to settle the score, as you can put it, would only result in his own demise. And after everything he's been through, he didn't feel like dying would be the best solution right now. So he ran. He spotted a lake down the mountain and just past it, something he did not even know existed. He didn't know what that strange place was. It smelled odd, but he ran towards it anyway. He smelled prey and hoped that there were some wolves, some nicer wolves, but was unsure. He was unsure if this was the right thing to do or not, if he should try to make his way back to Sleuth Creek. He wondered if anyone was there waiting for him. He firmly believed that his family was all but lost. Catching sight of a rabbit, he quickly chased it down. It's not enough to be a meal, but it's a nice snack. After consuming the rabbit, he continued on his way. He knew nothing of this place. All the strange scents here. It confused him. It turned him around. And yet he continued. He stopped and looked around. This was an odd building. Whatever or whoever used to live here was long gone now. The scents were old. He wondered what this thing was and decided to sniff it. It seemed like water, and it tastes like water. After his fight, a bath didn't sound so bad. He felt a lot better after this. And so he continued on his way in hopes that he would find someone who can help him, someone who could tell him where he was. He smelled an abandoned den, a coyote's den, but that's not what he's looking for right now. He's looking for a friend. He stopped to try and figure out what all this stuff was. He had no idea. They all smelled so weird. They were big, but he wasn't frightened by their size. He wasn't even sure if these things were alive. Either way, he needed to continue on. And although curious about this place, He wasn't keen on staying here, at least not alone. There were too many new sights, too many new smells for him to understand. He'd pass the elk herd. He would hunt another time. He didn't have enough strength to make a successful hunt right now. Continuing on, he continued to run. He didn't know where he was going. He just wanted to be away from here. He found this path odd. It felt odd to his paws, but he didn't mind all that much. In fact, he rather enjoyed the smoothness of the odd path. He sniffed around. Was that water? It looked like it. Sprinting over, he'd come to find that he was right. It is water. Not only is it water, but it seems like these dens have all been flooded. He didn't venture closer to it. He was still traumatized from his experience with the flood last fall. He struggled with winter, and he would struggle again if he didn't find someone or something to help him. Or better yet, if he found a way home, he would be able to search for his family. Oh, how he hoped they were still alive. How he hoped his mate was still alive. But he didn't have. He knew deep inside that she was gone, along with the rest of his pack. A cry from the distance. It caught his attention. But isn't this going back the way he just came? He howled again. He sighed and began to make his way over to where he heard the howls. Suddenly, a scent. Dispersal wolves.